Top story tonight, where former Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu will be starting his life in prison after he was jailed for 12 years in connection with graft charges.
He may, however, escape the jail term if he pays a fine of 53 million shillings.
Now, Ferdinand Waititu was found guilty in a 588 million graft case alongside his wife and 4 others.
His wife, Susan Wangari, has been handed a 1-year jail term or 500,000 shillings fine.
Our reporter Catherine Imuraget with that story.
Former Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu, his wife Susan Wangari, and 3 other suspects were found guilty in graft-related charges on Wednesday. And today, they were back in court to know their fate. For the former Kiambu Governor Ferdinand Waititu, he will serve a jail term of 12 years or alternatively pay a fine of 53 million shillings. Waititu was handed the sentence after being found guilty of tendering in Kiambu County in February 2018 when he was the former governor of the county.
The sentence will be as follows. Under provision of Section 48(1) of ASECA, a fine of 1 million in default, 2 years imprisonment. Still on count number 1, under the provisions of Section 48(1)(b).
At the same time, Magistrate Thomas Nzioki handed Waititu's wife, Susan Wangari, a 1-year jail term or pay a fine of 500,000 shillings. Others who were charged alongside the 2 were Lucas Wahinya, the then road engineer in Kiambu County, who has been jailed for 2 years or pay a fine of 1 million shillings and a mandatory fine of 20 million shillings or else serve 5 years in prison. Testimony Enterprises Limited Directors Charles Chegembuthia and Beth Wangeshi Mburu were sentenced to serve 4 years in jail or pay a fine of 2 million shillings and a mandatory fine of 294 million shillings and 3 years in prison or a fine of 1.4 million shillings respectively. Waititu, his wife, and co-accused have also been barred from holding public office for 10 years.
It is my holding that that provision shall apply to each of the accused person. It's the law. Section 64 states a person who is convicted of corruption or economic crime shall be disqualified from being elected or appointed as a public officer for 10 years after the conviction.
The defendants were arrested and brought to court on July 19, 2021 and charged with 11 charges of conflict of interest, abuse of office, engaging in enforcement actions, and deliberately not following procurement rules and regulations. However, EACC is in court pursuing unexplained wealth worth 1.9 billion shillings, which is already frozen by the court. Hearing was completed and the case is pending judgment. There is also a second criminal file pending at the ODPP, where EACC has recommended corruption charges against Waititu. The file is pending directions by ODPP. Catherine Imuraget, KTN, Nairobi.
The Azimio coalition has threatened to impeach the National